Fair warning, drug hour.
Well, hello, boys and girls.
Hi.
What a wonderful day
Hi.
it is today in our money-based economy.
Well, because of what I said
sit back
before.
and relax and get ready for the guy who's about to ruin everything.
I'm puzzled.
what I'm good at.
Are you really seriously suggesting that Jesus Christ was a mushroom?
Wayne, Jesus was a mushroom Roberts.
You are dealing with a secret cult,
Right.
a secret society.
Welcome to Waning Interest.
Welcome to the Waning Interest Podcast, hour number 58, Unlocked, Wednesday, August 21st, 2019. Here we go. Welcome to the drug hour. Like I said, Unlocked Wednesday. Apologies. Took a break on Monday. I know some of you whips are like, hey man, what's going on? What's up? You okay? You okay? I was recovering. A very long day on Monday. Did a lot of walking. Lost a tooth. Got some painkillers. And tasted a lot of blood. Did I tell you it was Unlocked Wednesday? Smallest click on the internet, the pinball brain in your favorite machine. I see spiders. I don't really know what that means. Why did I jot that down? I jotted that down the other day, and I think it was supposed to mean something, but I forgot. But maybe some of you went, I got it, and that's good, because that's what it was for anyway. It is Wednesday Jokes and Radio Story Day, along with a whole bunch of other garbage that'll be generated from these lungs and then through the voice box and then all over you. Boy, that was sexy. You weren't kidding about drug hour. I'm not fucked up. I'm just saying that there's going to be a lot of things that I talk about that have to do with maybe some illicit drugs. Maybe some not so illicit. Maybe some even more illicit than illicit could be. Who the hell is illicit? Almost sounded like I was talking about a chick. I mean a girl. Sorry. I like the word chick. It's cute. I don't mean it in a demeaning way. Like broad. You know? I whenever I hear somebody use that word like it's normal to them, broad, I wish there was a camera on me every time because the looks on my face have just got to be like, but funnier than that. That was Joe Cruz you heard on the open. If you are new to the podcast and you hear Joe on the front and back of the promos as well, his website, if you want some voice work, you want some production, don't go too heavy, he's old. Go to joecruzvo.com, not joecruzvo.com, it's just cruzvo.com. The fucking link is right there in the description. You go get it yourself. Email waninginterestpodcast@gmail.com. Keep them dirty, keep them clean, keep them dirtier than clean. You might be here from Apple Podcasts, maybe Stitcher, maybe YouTube, TuneIn, Google Play, Laughable, or Spotify or any of the other subs that are, just using the free content. No ads. You will hear. Well, sort of. Sometimes I get ranty and it sounds kind of like an ad, whatever it is, but you know what I'm saying. That's how everybody is, kind of, sort of, in a way, but not. Maybe it's from too many years of radio. Maybe it's just because you're a douche. I think that's it. Shut up. So because there's no ads, we do have the Patreon. If you're new, Patreon Monday and Friday hours, which I mentioned earlier. I didn't do this past Monday because of my tufa. One of my choppers, as my dad would refer to. But there's a Patreon hour on Mondays, a Patreon hour on Fridays. On the Mondays hours, it's normal stupidity from me, plus bowling and acting stories. And on Fridays, normal stupid shit from me. And then VO stories, voiceover stories, album of the week, and the Friday psychedelic movie / series. Always fun, just like this. I mean, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. You're having a ball, right? You're not going anywhere. Because I told you it's going to be about drugs. Twitter and Instagram, Wayne Roberts 811. And then the hashtags, the whips, Waning Interest Podcast Pack, Waning Interest Podcast. Use them freely. Turn that shit into currency, even though I hate money, but still have to pay the bills. So I said something about my chopper, my tufa. So I went to the dentist on Monday morning just for a cleaning. But a few days before, felt this little chip in the back. And I thought it was just a little part of the filling that broke off. Because a couple of months ago, the last time I was at my dentist, he said I should get a root canal. But then the insurance said no. And I didn't bother asking why. I just figured I'll just wait till my next appointment. And then right before the appointment, a little break. And I tell him, he says, yeah, that needs to be pulled. And I said, whoa, hold on, man. Hold on, slow down, Turbo. What'd you say? And then he proceeded to tell me that's why they turned it down. I couldn't tell from the paperwork. They just said, no, you can't do that. We don't see a reason for it. But I didn't see anything about it needs to be pulled. Bless you, Tommy. That was my manager, the building. He sneezed. He's loud. See? Great timing. Thanks, buddy. So I says to the dentist, I says, go ahead. That's what they were trying to say. They said, no, you can't have the root canal because we don't see a reason for it. But I didn't read just rip that shit out. But it's okay, you can, because I have a sneaking suspicion it should be. I think you're right about that. And he said, when do you want to do it? And I said, let's do it right now, baby. So he climbed on top of me and just... No, but seriously, wow, how violent. Wow, how violent. You're going to feel a little pressure. My God. The way he pulled, the way that... it was... I was gripping that chair. I know I'm not the only one, but... I made some noise, man. It was a good thing there was no other members, patients, whatever they call them now. Everybody calls something different. Well, we don't want to be. No, you used to be. You were a patient in a cannabis dispensary, but then it was a member, and then it's all this stuff, and sales things. It changes. I don't know. I'm guessing patient or insurance member. Anyway, I was the only one there, luckily, because I probably would have scared the shit out of anybody else that was sitting in a chair. A little pressure. Okay. He really had to pull. But I was glad. Because now I has one less tooth to worry about. One less part of flossing. Isn't that great? Thank you. But anyway, I walk to the dentist. My dentist isn't close, but it's close enough to where I say, I'll walk. I guess it's about a mile, a little over a mile. So I walk to the dentist. I get my teeth cleaned. She said we'd met before, but she didn't do my teeth the last time, and I don't remember doing my teeth before, but apparently this hygienist we've met before, I don't remember. She does a decent job. See? She cleaned them so good that it changed the way I talk. She did a decent job. And found out, wow, clueless about cannabis. I don't know. It really bugs me when people in any kind of medical profession don't know anything about cannabis because they're the first ones that should. Yes, it's just a dental hygienist, but it's the number one medicine on the planet for anything, not And you know what? If we consumed more cannabis and hemp, teeth probably wouldn't fucking fall out. So anyway, walk to the dentist, get teeth cleaned, get tooth pulled, violent, walk home, then walk to drop off the prescription, then walk 4 miles for an eye exam. Didn't get the glasses though because, well, I ain't paying that much money right now. My vision's good enough. Then walk back to 4 miles, and then a little extra to go get the prescription. Then walk home. All of that with bloody gauze in my mouth. Because I lost a chopper. If you're new to the podcast, my dad calls teeth choppers. And your mouth is your suck. Your nose is your sniffer. Your ears are your speakers. Your head is your goad. Your fingers are your pointers. Your arms are your beaters. Your legs, if you're white, chalky stockies. Your butt is your turd cutter. I'll stop there. So it has been nice. I've rinsed my mouth. I always rinse my mouth out anyway because I haven't always been this way, but for the last bunch of years I've been kind of addicted to flossing. I want to floss or rinse my mouth out every time I eat something. But still, gotta have my teeth yanked. So he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Maybe it's the meth. I mean, what? No, it's the nicotine from smoking. A little bit of the sugar, because I do have a sweet tooth, and it's very, very surprising that I'm only pre-diabetic. I have been for a while. Gotta stop. I gotta slow way down on the sugar. I have, actually. Cigarettes. Told you. It's been 2 weeks. Well, today I failed. Actually, it was yesterday. The timing was just perfect. The problem with those painkillers is they make you, especially if you're a smoker, they make you crave nicotine, which I remember from my painkiller days back, 15 years ago? My year of the painkiller. What was my point? So I had taken one and I walked to the store to, what did I get? Can't remember what I was getting. I think I just needed matches. Anyway, I come back, and as I'm walking up, one of my neighbors is pulling away. She smokes. And I went, hey. Luckily, that guy behind you is making you not go very fast, fall out very fast, giving you time to stay right there so I could go, can I bum a cigarette? It tasted really good after 2 weeks of no cigarettes and having a couple of Norcos in you. I'm not promoting it. I am just retelling the story. It's a bibliography. A bibliography? What is a bibliography? I forgot. Whatever, who cares? And it was one of those shitty brands. It was one of those Camel Gold. It was kind of nasty, but it was a good nasty. And then today I went over to check my mega ticket. Loser. And ran into a guy from a dispensary I go to. I didn't recognize him. He recognized me. Hey, blah, blah, blah. We start talking. And then he gets some cigarettes. And I went, dude, can I bum one? They were American Spirits. So I was like, hey, it'll last a while. He gave me 4. So you know what that means. I had to take more of the painkillers. Otherwise, what's the point of having a cigarette? You know what I'm saying? I didn't take them like candy. I'm mostly joking. Remember, this is supposed to be funny. I mean, we got 14 minutes and 40 seconds of funniness somewhat. Yes, I think there's been some laughs. I know, because I'm a dry son of a bitch. And I know there's been some spots where you've laughed so hard you had to go, well, I missed something. You had to stop and go back a little bit and then hear something funny again and chug. You know what I'm saying? I think you do. So, 4 American Spirit cigarettes, that's like a half a pack of Marlboros, if not more. They burn really fast. American Spirits burn really slow. And I don't smoke them a whole one at a time. I only take 3-4 drags, and that's enough for me for a while. Unless you've got narcos. All I could think about, though, when he, as soon as he said that he was going to pull the tooth, I said, let's do it now, of course. I could have waited, but I said, let's just do it now. And then, of course, I do that, and I get home, and I haven't had an ASAP, need it within a couple of hours, voiceover audition. Haven't had one of those in a couple of months. I get home, and there's one, ASAP. I can't talk right now. And it was something I didn't want to read, so I didn't read it anyway. I wasn't going to even bother trying. I've become more picky because I really don't give a fuck anymore. I'm quite tired of it. The more I think about not having to worry about a voice audition coming in, the happier I get. Could be the weed and the painkillers. I don't know. No, I think it's all of it. I think that's just an enhancer, as usual. But when my dentist told me that, it's got to get yanked, and it's a wisdom tooth, by the way. It was in the back, a wisdom tooth. It was, he wanted to pull it a long time ago, and I said, nah, I want it to stink. But when he told me he was going to pull it, all I could think of was when I was a little kid, the first time, I was 7 or 8, when I got a tooth pulled, a molar. And I woke up the next day, and there was this big blood clot on my pillow. Scared the shit out of me. So I said, Ma! And she said, what? I said, look. And she said, it's nothing. It's nothing. Turned out it wasn't. Well, it was. It was a big old nasty, dried blood clot that looked like it could have come from a murder scene. It wasn't that bad. It was worse. I can't tell. Am I funny? So I was looking for take 2. So I was looking for some shit through. I was looking for something in an old email of mine, my old Hotmail address, email. And I was reminded of a short film I did way back in 2004 called Cocaine Eulogy. I went, oh my, did I really do a movie called Cocaine Eulogy? What the hell was that about? I'm trying to remember. Oh, yes. And we shot it in a house not too far from where I live. I had just moved into this apartment when we shot that. Or had I moved into this apartment yet? That's too far back. Man, was it 2004 or 2005? I don't remember. Whatever. The point is, I thought it was funny. I'm like, wait a minute, the short film, Cocaine Eulogy. What? Oh, yeah. I was at Playhouse West acting school. And one of the ladies that was in a different class than mine wrote this short film. It was a little bit biographical, I guess. And she had a little casting session. And for some strange reason, hired me to play the lead with her. And there's this whole thing. And apparently the guy that I was playing in real life died of a cocaine overdose. But in the movie, I live. They couldn't kill me. The last shot, I'm just out of rehab and looking from the living room out to the pool through the window, looking at my wife and kid, and couldn't stop thinking about cocaine. No, I remember the scene she wanted me. I had to get emotional. It was one of the first things I ever did where I had to get really emotional. And I was having a tough time. And what made it easier was I realized, I'm getting more and more in my head the more I try. I don't want to go there. And I'm not a professional at this point. I mean, I'd been paid to be an actor, doing a few things. Like I had done the Lycos commercial and some other short films and stuff. But I was still a Padawan. But I realized, hey, if you want tears from this asshole, don't yell at me. Don't say mean things. Say nice things. And the fountain might turn on. And not from, oh, she's saying nice things about me. Oh, it's so great. I'm crying. Nah, not tears like that. More like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve you saying this nice thing about me. That's not me. I'm not that good. Although I was. But, we all have a hard time believing it. But thanks to being a tripper now, I don't react so much that way because now I know we're all one, it's all the same, and we're all being tricked. It's a mind fuck. That whole thing about being a dream, it's really a dream. It's very intense. Like Bill Hicks said, it's like a ride at an amusement park. A dream ride. We're just going merrily, gently down the stream. Is that right? Right. No? What? Who? When? Why? I don't know. Holy shit. How bad is this? Don't. So, cocaine eulogy. I come across this and I realize, wait, my radio story has to do with cocaine, I believe, is part of it. My radio story today. How? What's the word? Like kismet that I would come across cocaine eulogy. A short film that I haven't thought about in forever. Completely forgot I even did it. And I remember not being very happy with it when I saw it. Just all around. We could have done a lot better. I could have done better. Everybody could have done better. But I'm very critical with that stuff, and especially of my own shit. And watching myself try to get, it's like, it's bad. The best work I did was that shot where I was looking out the window at the end. Like, you know why it was so good? Because it was over. But I thought it was kismet when I came across that. I'm like, wait. I think the radio story that I plan on telling today, that's got wow, isn't that funny? And then we got the painkillers, and then, wow. All that. And then Spider-Man, no more MCU. What the fuck? That was kind of silly. I know that was a little left turn, but that's what I do. You know that. Well, some of you. The ones that have the balls to call themselves a whip. Big balls. But man, I am so tired of, so tired. I'm so tired of it happening, and I'm so tired of saying this over and over about how money doing what it does to everything, meaning destruction, not the good part. All the stuff that money, that we think money gives us, it could happen without money. Now, all the problems are because of money. So if we don't waste our time with the fake money thing to do the things that we want to do, it would be more streamlined and better and smoother and more efficient. And that would mean that the money isn't poisoning everything and making it a big fat joke like the Amazon is on fire. Now, is it getting the coverage that the fucking Notre Dame building got? No. Is it getting the money that donations from around the world for the Notre Dame building? No. Will it? No. I wish the Amazon that was actually on fire was Bezos' Amazon, not the rainforests. And you know what? Because it's all about money. Because, it's not some accident. The Amazon is burning because somebody wants it to burn and not some nobody that's just being a dick. We're talking about it's for money. It's a corporate move. Which means that Jeff Bezos is probably mean that Jeff is somehow involved anyway because of all the money that he has. So it's got to go over there, you know what I'm saying? Because it probably has something to do with it. I know it sounds crazy because, it's just the same name. That's a rainforest. What would Bezos do? Fucking guy has obviously far too much money. We actually really have a Lex Luthor now. I know that sounds hacky because people have been saying that for years, but it is pretty wild when you say it. Like, there really is a Lex Luthor. And I'm Superman. No, you're not. You're Batman. That's right. I'm Batman. Amazon's on fire. And it's been raging for quite some time. And it's only been in the last couple of days where there's been a good mention of it in the news. I mean, I had a couple of funny posts on Facebook. Nothing. I posted a little video talking about the Amazon being on fire. Bam, bam, bam. Bunch of angry reactions. Not that angry at me, but that it's happening. And then all of a sudden, oh, look, there's more posts now. And what's good is, just like with the Epstein thing where almost anybody with half a brain knows that the suicide thing is a complete fucking joke. It was either he was murdered or it was just a sham and he's been relocated. That's what I believe. But I'm pretty sure the same kind of deal is with the Amazon rainforest. My guess is that most people that know about it do not believe it was done by, some schmo just being a dick. It's a corporate move. They're wiping it out for all kinds of reasons. And you can sum it up with the word profit. But you already knew that. I'm tired of preaching to the choir. Is there any of you new? There's always going to be somebody new, right? This is spell that. I dare you. This is going to be on the internet for a long time, so there's always going to be somebody new here and there, I would say, I would guess, I would think. Can you tell I'm thinking? I'm rubbing my chin. The Amazon is on fire. Isn't there like an Amazon Fire Stick? I was looking for is life too fucking weird or what, man? No, like the Bill Hicks line from that there was actually an Officer Coon in the fucking Rodney King deal. Coon with a K. I think it was Stacy Kuhn. But it reminds me of one of my favorite moments in the Larry Sanders Show, my favorite television comedy of all time. And Larry's talking to his booker. I believe it was Janine Garofalo. Who's on the show tonight? Michael Chiklis. Who the hell is Michael Chiklis? He's the commish. I know, that was my impression of America. Who the hell is Michael Chiklis? I was reminded of that because there's been a bunch of Shandling stuff that has popped up, Gary Shandling stuff that's popped up in my YouTube recommendations, which I love because, man, that guy, every fucking thing. The only stuff that makes you go, is like older stuff from the early, mid-'80s that he did some talk show stuff, and kind of lame because that was back when they were, using their material on those shows. It was still good, and it's dated, but then after that, everything, when he was from being on Charlie Rose to anybody interviewing him, Slade, anything he hosted, and then that Judd Apatow documentary is great. I've watched it a couple times. But man, Larry Sanders, and I'm trying to get my daughter, I'm trying to get her to, I told her recently, I've been waiting for a long time to share this show with you and watch it because, language stuff, it's, you know what I'm saying, it's, there's no nudity or whatever. But, although, one of the other parents would allow other shows to be watched that I didn't agree with, that one was not allowed. But then again, she was only 6. And then 7, and then 8, and then 9. Are you guys ready for the Wednesday joke? Tss. The Wednesday joke. Tss. If you're new to the podcast, Wednesdays I pull out 1, 2, 3, or 4 of shit that I wrote back in the first year or two when I started doing stand-up comedy in 2014. So on Wednesdays, I like to share some garbage that I jotted down for open mics. Some of it went, some of it morphed into things that I used to use and maybe not use anymore, or morphed into stuff that I do use today. And some of it changes because things happen and you're like, oh, wait, now I can say this about it. I can use it here because it works with this. There's all kinds of stuff when you have a whole bunch of little bits that you have, jokes, chunks. Like, oh, yeah, this can mix here and this can mix there. And, oh, now that I'm mixing that, I can change this to that. So some of it, that's what happens. Some of it goes right in the trash. And you'll hear why. Now, keep in mind, I'm just reading these. I'm trying to do them with the timing and stuff, but I've just gone through and just found them and gone, okay, I'll use this one. Okay, I'll use this one. But I haven't sat and practiced them again and, gone over. So I might stumble, bumble. And I might not have it right down to the timing exact on every little piece. Then again, I never do. So it's all good. And these are from 2014 notes. And here we go with the Wednesday jokes on the Waning Interest Podcast. I'd like to Take 2. That's numb. We don't do that on stage, but I'll do it here just for the funny. I'd like to Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I can't say congratulate? Take 3. I'd like to congratulate myself for finally growing a pair and getting the fuck up here You worry about public speaking, especially after time in a psych ward from a public meltdown on the internet. Now, see, that is a little thing about my psych ward stay. Some of you might know that I've never been. I might know this. Take two again. Jesus H. fucking Christ. Some of you may not know that I spent time in a psych ward. What comic hasn't? Most. So, of course, you're gonna have jokes about that shit. That was one of the early ones, which was real early because I was actually. That might have been one of the first things I wrote. Because I wouldn't say that again. I wouldn't say that the second time. But I don't remember. It's been so long. Anyway, on to joke number 2, okay? Okay. Any guys like me where it was that one gorgeous, amazing woman that came along that you'll never forget? The one that wanted nothing more than to give you the greatest rim job you've ever gotten, and you let her over and over. And then she wanted to really show you how adventurous in bed she was. And that's right. Brought in a couple of toys to the bedroom. One of them being a strap-on because she wanted to fuck you in the ass as good as she says that you fuck her. And you let her? Is that when you started questioning your sexuality, or is that just me? And that was the second funny from 2014 that... More trash, the Waning Interest Podcast, because that's what we're all about, because that's what we deliver, because that's what we make, because that's what we are. Thank you. Number 3. I think I'm a minority. Take 2. Holy shit, you fucking blow. I think I'm in a minority when it comes to coke and fucking. I never was able to get it up with cocaine. Made me impotent right out of the railgate. But there's a good side to every story. Is that's where I became really good at oral. Ladies. Wow, what cheese hack doucheness. Thank you, that's what it's all about. I think I'm better now. And the last one, I'm awesome. I'm awesome. My therapists say so. Although I believe when I leave, they're like, what the fuck? Let me go cash that check. And those were the Wednesday jokes on the Waning Interest Podcast on August 21st, 2019. Right here, you heard it, you felt it, sorry. I don't even think I ever did that awesome one. That last one, I don't think I ever said that one on stage. I think I only wrote it down or typed it down. I don't think I ever actually used it. But it was so bad, I went, I'm going to share it with the whips. Hey, did I tell you, Patreon page, only $2 a month to be a whip? No, I think I forgot the $2. You know, it's probably a really shitty time to be asking for money, seeing how you've blown for 45 minutes. That's true, but it's only been 40. You were looking at the wrong clock. Sorry. Ha.
What?
Has it been all right? See, I have this thing in my head where there's no way I'm not funny or charming. I could listen to me all day. You're lying. I know. I listen to the podcast so I can go to sleep. I use it as sleep medicine. 5 minutes, I'm out. That's not a joke.
What?
I'm being very, very serious. Am I? Totally serious. I'm 48 years old. Don't take much to put me to sleep. Luckily, though, I don't really snore. In the real world, Wayness isn't a snorer. Very lucky with that. Well, unless I'm drinking, which I don't really drink anymore. But when I used to drink, and unfortunately for whoever I was with, maybe ended up on my back while I was sleeping, it's not my fault when they want to ride reverse cowgirl. Try to tell them in my drunken stupor, don't let me get on my back. Don't put me on my back. It's always funny to fall asleep with a heart on while you're inside someone. Classic shit, man. But should probably save stories like that for another time. Because right now, it's time, even though it's pretty early at 41:30 after. It's time for the Wednesday radio story. And I know you're excited about it because I already teased you earlier. There may be some drug use involved. But that was the deal. I don't tell that frivolously. And again, I'm not here to promote drinking, drug use, any of that stuff. I'm just telling my story. I tell anybody, stay away from speedster shit. Stay away from heroin. Stick with the green, if you know what I mean. And Mr. Mushy a couple times a year. Or one if that's your flavor. But you really don't need, especially if you do a heroic dose, 5 grams or more. And don't just run out there and do that. If you've never done mushrooms before, don't run out and do 5 grams right away. Don't do that. Ease your way in. A couple grams first, then an eighth maybe, then a little bit more, then we'll go for it. You want to know what you're getting into. But when you do a heroic dose, you do 5 or more grams, you don't really need to do it more than a couple times a year. You're good. Well, if you're healthy mentally. You could be real stupid and go, oh, I'll do that all the time, but you can't anyway because you wouldn't be able to do it anyway. Like mushrooms, people think that mushrooms are addictive. They're not. I mean, they can be for stupid people. Like, yeah, I'll just keep eating them. But after a while, the effect is going to go down. You'll need far too much psilocybin or psilocin or whichever one. It all mixes and all that does. It makes you go pop and phone home. But it's not like a regular drug to where you just keep doing it and you're just more and more. It's almost like, I know I did it a few times and it was probably just shitty weed where you basically smoke yourself straight. It's like, well, I'm not even high anymore. You just don't realize it, but you are. You've just gotten really used to it. But when it comes to the mushroom stuff, yeah, it's really pointless to do it more than 2, maybe 3 times a year. It's really pointless because you need other time for the integration and the, whoa, what's happening here? And, oh, I feel really good. Wow, that's a really good depression medication. Wow, and that journey, that hero journey was pretty intense and really memorable and one of the top 3 or 2 experiences in my life, maybe the top for some people. But anyway, this isn't about mushrooms at all. This is about the frivolity of cocaine and alcohol. No. We're serious but we're telling a story. And when you're telling a story, you have to be fun. So it doesn't mean I'm saying, hey, go do drugs and drink. No, I totally prefer you not. But I'm not going to be a Nazi. Nobody wants somebody, well, some people do. Some people do like to be submissive and they want to be ordered around. I get that way sometimes. But I don't like doing the ordering. I'm not into that. I'm not into punishment. Unless, of course, my partner is into that and they want some of that, and then I'll do what I can. But again, this is about the Wednesday radio story, and there's no sex with the radio story. I wish there was, but there's none. So 1997, this had to have been around February, I think. And the Ron and Ron show had been, up until this point, had always originated out of St. Pete, the Tampa area. But with this new deal where they sold the network to Paxson Communications, part of that deal was for them to move to Fort Lauderdale and have Fort Lauderdale be their hub. And this was this show that made me want to get into radio. And now, just a handful of years later, after I become a big fan of theirs, I get to go over and try to be and audition to be their producer. Didn't get the gig. Didn't deserve it. I was too busy over there going, am I really here? Am I really here? And they wanted a producer to do all these things that we didn't do where I came from at IOD. We didn't have to do all that stuff. There was a lot that we didn't handle. So I wasn't used to some of it, so I wasn't really fit for the gig. But when they came over, I still became part of the show, one of the producers, one of the whipping boys. And that was where Ronnie, I think it was the first show I was with them, and I was on the phones. And the phone, originally in the studio, before we moved into their own studios down the hall, when they were sharing the same studio that everybody else was on the air, we had a phone bank in the studio. All other shows, you would answer the phones from the control room. But for us, we had it where it was actually in the room, in the corner. And that's where I was for the first bunch of weeks on the show, mainly on the phones. But Ronnie started calling me Bruce Wayne. And that only lasted for the first hour. And then sometime in the second hour or the third hour, when they referenced me for some reason, probably dumping on me for some shitty phone call that got through. Because, it's my fault that they were a shitty call, even though I did whatever I could to get them ready. But it's my fault. Anyway, the point is, Ronnie changed it and went, no, it's Batman. And I went, oh, dude, that is so sweet. Who does not want to have the nickname of their favorite superhero on the radio? I got very lucky because everybody else had goofy names. Parody guy. Whew. We were a socialist show. Some people got that. Some people didn't.
What?
I don't care. Anyway, as time went on, it became apparent to the boys that, Batman is one of the new guys. He needs some kind of initiation. It's time for Batman to do his first quote-unquote stunt as one of the whipping boy producers. Now, I was expecting some weird shit where I might have to eat something funny, maybe something physical with like getting some makeup or something and having to go out in public, or dyeing my hair a funny color. Something weird like that was what I was expecting for my first stunt. But what did they give me? They gave me a night where I had to leave the show and not go to sleep, be with one person that I will describe in a second, hang with them from after the show's over at 10 o'clock and then post-show meeting, so we're done about 11:30. Got to do promos. AM, by the way. Morning show. After that, I had to leave with this person and do whatever they needed, help them with whatever they needed help with, go to work with them at a certain place, and stay up. And basically, I wasn't allowed to go to sleep. And I also wasn't allowed to say no to certain substances. Needless to say, I was game. Now, there was a certain guy, we'll call him, what will we call him? We'll call him a trucker. We'll call him the trucker. I don't know why, that just popped into my head. I don't want to give everything away. Some people might not want me to tell this story. So I'll change the names to protect the guilty. So Trucker was a friend of the show and would come in and hang out on the show. He's kind of funny. But Trucker also put together certain things and got certain guests that were harder to get through, shitty producers like me. When you don't have any contacts. But Trucker also had another job at a nightclub as a promoter. And it was connected to another club, bar, really cool neighborhood bar. That was in the same plaza, but not like right next to each other. They were one was on each end. And the place where Trucker was the promotional guy, where I was going to go hang with him, was a rock club. Down and dirty rock club, and I was a rocker. So I was like, oh, this is great. So during the day, I went and I helped him do this stuff and do that, pick some stuff up for different things for the club, and just hanging out with him. And, oh, what's that? Oh, it's snowing in Florida. Oh, well, just a little. And when you don't have to pay for it, it makes it a little more fun. But you knew that. I know you do. Or do. Or did. Or whatever. So anyway, at this time also, I'm a pretty big drinker. And now it's time to actually go to the club. And the club doesn't get cooking until 10:30 or whatever, but we're there at 8. And so by 10 o'clock, I'm hammered. But I'm buzzed really good. And there are a lot of pretty girls, dirty rock girls, not dirty, but dirtier looking. They're not the bar that's on the other end of the same owner, the bar that was on the other end of the plaza, not the same type of clientele. It's, like a rock club, so dressed a little on the sluttier side, but whatever. Bunch of those. But Trucker kept keeping me away from them. Apparently part of the stunt. Or maybe saving me from making a complete ass of myself. One will never know. He probably knows, he just won't tell me. But around this time is when, like I said, it started snowing. And one of the best parts, because remember, I'm not a coke guy at this time. Very newbie, even though I've had the shit beat out of me by a dealer who was dealing to my epileptic friend, and went through it with some family members, trying to get them off it, but never really been into it myself, and this is my first time diving in. And now remember, the music's loud. So when I was hearing people asking Trucker for a pump, it wasn't an hour or so later when I realized, oh, they're saying bump. Oops. I feel really stupid for saying, hey, can I have another pump?
What?
was loud in there, man. It's a rock club. And again, I'm got a good alcohol buzz, and now I've got snow inside me. So I'm one charming motherfucker at this point. So now truckers really got to keep the ladies away from me. And the dudes, because I am just beaming with charm. All that booze, all that coke, yeah. And I was like, all right. It's cool, because for some reason, even though I'm having fun talking to all these ladies, I don't think I could get hard. And that's where I first learned that cocaine, hard on, no, don't go with me. Just thinking about coke. But this is where I learned it. So it was okay that he was keeping the ladies away. Turned out. But then at the end, find myself at 4 a.m. sitting at in the owner's chair, behind his desk, and there in the front of the desk, trucker and the owner, and there's a big pile of coke in front of me, and they're like, go ahead, whatever you want, Bat. I'm like, I'm Scarface right now. I really wanted to stick my face in it, but that's rude. If I had had another beer, probably would have done it. Whatever you want. And then all of a sudden it's, oh, Bat, you got to get to the show. It's 5:30 a.m. Show starts at 6. Oh, shit. How am I getting there? Trucker was too fucked up to drive me. I was too fucked up to drive me. The owner was too fucked up to drive me. This was 1997. There's no such thing as Uber or Lyft. And I ain't paying for no damn taxi. So I did what anybody with a brain would do. I called my roommate. Said, dude, can you come get me? And he did, because he's a sweetheart like that. And I gave him $50, I think. And some coke. No, that's not true. He didn't do that shit. And I didn't have any on me. I just did what was there, and that was that. So then, get to work. I'm fucked up. I barely remember. I remember getting there, but I don't. There was like 2 hours of the show where I have no recollection. But I remember the beginning. I remember getting there, and I remember that Ronnie laughing and Fezzi laughing because I'm so fucked up. And then when they brought me on the air to talk about the night, they had to basically take me off the air because they had to dump me so much. I was fucked shit. I was so fucked up. Still drunk. Coked up. And Paul O's there because it's a Friday. Paul O was our movie reviewer. And real whipping boy. Big dude, 6'3", but a teddy bear. But they wanted me to try to knock him over. And I ran, bam! My shoulder was killing me for 2 weeks. I barely remember doing it. But here's the best part. Now, the guy that called himself the program director of the show, Tommy Kramer, nobody liked him. Post-show meeting. Everybody's sitting on two sides of a long table. Kramer is on one end, and he's talking about what went down in the show. I'm standing on the other end of the table, just by myself standing and just crashing and thinking, oh, God, I feel like shit. Kramer, thinking he's funny, starts, taking shots at me. Oh, Batman is on the show today. Oh, he got the blah, blah, blah. And I gained more love from everybody on the show because I just looked at Kramer standing there from across the other end of the table, and I slowly just went, boop, and gave him the finger with a shit-eating grin. Ronnie gave me $1,000 for that. That's not true. He didn't give me the money. It was only $500. But that was my first stunt as one of the whipping boys / producer of the Ron and Ron show, which never thought it would be all about booze and coke and keeping the ladies away, but that's what it was, and it was funny, and Jesus Christ, I wish I could really remember it. I don't know. It was something. Anyway, watch Redacted tonight in the Jimmy Dore Show. Kim Iverson, Kai Kolinsky, Abby Martin. Look for yourself. I'm just here to be a fun, babbling lecturer. Remember, we're all Neo, AK1. Sorry, ran long. Had to bump comedian Ron Bennington. Thanks, Gary. Woo! Daddy loves you. looking at me, man.